Hello, it's Kerry from Mobilates here with you on quite a rainy Wednesday. We're in this sort of wet patch of weather, but we can forget about that. We've got this time carved out for ourselves, half an hour of gentle movement. You can do it standing, you can do it seated, you could do it on the edge of your bed, and then there's a lying down section, so you can do that on your mattress. You can do it if you're comfortable getting down onto the floor. Do it on the floor, and if you want to stay seated throughout, I'm going to keep giving you options so you can get in the position that's right for you today. Hope you've got a drink with you. I've just got my water here for all those, and you've got a bit of a croaky throat or anything like that. I've got to keep everything lubricated, got to keep the water going in, fluids going in. Right, oh, I can see some names coming up. Hello, Gillian, nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Irene. Hello, Christy. Little flurry of people. Lovely to have you here. We're going to start with, it's called a butterfly hug. So I'm coming closer so you can really see what I'm doing. My arms are crossed, just lightly, nothing tight, lightly on top. And I'm just letting my hands pat. And I'm finding a really gentle rhythm that's right for me. It doesn't have to match your breath. It could be faster or slower than this. It's just something that's right for you. And it could be the lightest touch. Or it could be something slightly heavier. But it's a butterfly hug, so that gives you a clue to sort of the delicacy of this. You could be seated or standing. Take your legs wider, maybe have a little sway, or just change my rhythm there. So you don't have to follow my rhythm. Find yours. Close your eyes if you're comfortable to, especially if you're seated. Let your breath settle. Let your jaw soften and your shoulders drop. And just for a few more. And then let the hands stop and slide down your body, flutter your eyes open, have a little wriggle. We're going to give our feet a wipe like you've just come in from somewhere, but not just the soles, the sides, those side edges. Hold on to something if you need to. I'm going for the inner edges. I'm going for the back of the heel. I'm going for the very tips of the toes. I'm waking all my foot up. And then back on the soles again, just to put some more warmth and sensation through our feet. And then I've got my feet, it's like a hardback book distance apart. And my feet are parallel. I'm going to lift the toes up and down, just give them a little wiggle, and you can see I'm looking down so that my brain is talking to my toes. It seems to communicate better when I can see them. And then I'll leave my feet down. I'm going to soften the points of my knees so I feel my legs have softened. They're pointing forward slightly, and then we're going into pelvic tilts. So take a breath in. Try and breathe to the sides of your ribs and a little lower down. And as you breathe out, let a bit of tension come over your belly, as if your hand is cold. And then we're going to take the belly and just tip towards the ribs. You can see the bottom, the sacrum, the back of my pelvis goes downwards. And then we're going to tip forwards. So you can see from my hands and my jumper, that sort of tipping motion of the pelvis. And if I was doing this seated, I get right up on the sit bones. So there's knobbly bits of the pelvis underneath or the bum flesh. And then I'm going to roll back and roll forwards. Roll back. So it feels like your waistband is almost being pulled back a little and your belly is pulling back and sort of scooping upwards. And then roll forwards. Roll back, roll forwards. That's it. And then give it a little side to side wiggle. And then we'll tap the back of our head. Give the bridge of our nose a rub and take those sensations back. And then we're going to turn and scan around the room, gently turning our head. Again, keeping this soft in the jaw. Come back to the center, and let's go on a roll. So I like to go sort of one way and then the other way. Some people will like to sort of push around like that. So you're stretching your neck and you're pushing away with your head. So do what feels nicest. And then we're going to roll a shoulder back and then the other shoulder back. That's it. Perfect. And then I'd like to bring your arms up, palms facing, and your elbows a little closer together. And then we're going to open that outwards. So it's like you're trying to bring these parts of your arm, this sort of inner part of your arm and your palm, closer towards each other. And then the backs of your arms are pushing away. So the inner part of our arms, palms to elbow, you might touch, you might be apart, it doesn't matter. And then the backs pushing gently back and opening your chest. If you've got one side that needs to go lower because there's something going on with your shoulder, go for it and make it asymmetrical. And then let your arms drop down, just give them a little swing. You can let your body weight shift forwards and backwards as you do that little extra balance challenge. You'll need a bit of tension just over the belly for this. And that bit of tension is a bit like, if you imagine there was a small toddler coming, ran into the room and is going to punch you in the belly, and your belly was ready for that. It's just a small toddler. It's not like a great big grown-up fist, just a little fist. We're just going to give you a little punch there, and you're putting up a bit of resistance. That's the amount of tension you need in your belly. That's it. Now we're going to keep our feet still. We're going to lift our arms up to about shoulder height, palms are facing, and open them outwards. And then bring them facing and down. Up, open. That's it. Now we can add extra things in with this. Let's go to the feet and just take the heels up and down. Now your arms anywhere that you need to support you. So it might be quite little because your ankles go wobbly. So if this happens, you can see my wobbly legs, could you go a little lower? Maybe take your time. If you find going up onto the toes really difficult, if you've got things, particularly big toe stiffness, big toe arthritis, it might be more of a rocking, especially if you've got rocker soles on, if you've got shoes on, shoes that you wear in the house, I'd say. And then we can combine that. We can bring our heels up as we bring the arms up, open, close, and down. So it's a bit longer on the toes or in that rocking position. If I was rocking, it would look like this, and then I'm going to rock back. And one more. And now we're going to start taking the arms forwards and backwards. If you're standing, you can start softening the knees, putting a little bounce in, and just sending the back slightly forwards. It stays straight, it's not curving. If you're seated, we just come forwards a little. Again, you've got a little bit of tension in the belly. If it feels a bit much, put one hand here and do it with one arm. So you've got a bit of support and pressure going through the static arm. Oh, I can't find my rhythm. That's the one. And one more. And then we're going to go into, a little rotation for the upper half. So let's have a little twist around first, whole body. So that's what it looks like standing. Sitting, take the legs wider, and you're having like you're a swish, you're in like a hot tub or a spa. And you're just sitting, on one of those sort of tile benches on the water. And then if you're sitting, I'd like you to turn to one side like this. So the back of the chair is to the side, because this is going to give you a bit more room for what we're doing next. And then we're going to open one leg outwards here. I'm going to put an arm forwards, both arms forwards even, they're facing each other. And then I'm going to pull this arm back like I'm pulling a bow. This is part of bow and arrow. So imagine that we're holding a bow at the front and then I'm pulling the bow. This elbow point goes back. This hand stays over here. I'm just wiggling the fingers. If I'm standing, similar looking, one leg's forwards, this other leg a little bit out to the side towards the screen. And I'm doing that pull back. Now this gives you rotation in the upper body, but it's not very sort of twisty. It's not like a wringing out sensation. It's just a gentle rotation. So if you've got osteoporosis, osteopenia, or any spinal issues that don't like twisty movements, this is where I'd like to go. If you haven't, I would like both legs forwards. So sitting will look like this. And now the bottom of the body is facing forwards. The top of the body is rotating back. And if I was standing, now my hips aren't moving. I could move them. I could make it softer by doing that. But it's much softer by opening out like that. Puts less twist through. We're going to swap sides. So I'm going to come around the other way. Arms forwards. Leg back and a little. My foot's I'm just going to move to, that's it. My foot's just going out towards you guys. And then a pull back. And then if you want a bit more, put your legs together, let the hips move. My eyes are just following this fist here. And if you want a bit more, keep these hips as if they are shining headlights over to that wall. Keep them over there as the arm goes back. And then there's a bit of a sort of pull of opposites. As I pull this back, I can feel I'm always having to push the hips forwards to stop the natural. That's what my body's trying to do. And I'm working a bit against that. One more. And then again, make it swishy and soft. It's like we're unwinding again. And keep the legs wider. And then we're going to send the bum back. The arms come a little bit forwards. It's like you're sitting on something low down, and then you're going to come up. If you're seated, legs in that same position, we can take the feet back a little bit so our shins aren't entirely vertical, and we can let the weight come forwards and our eyes are ahead, like we're about to get up, and then, oh, we've changed our minds. Now, if that gets really uncomfortable and tight down your legs or uncomfortable for your knees, take your legs forwards a little bit so they're a bit more vertical. But if it's okay like this, could be with one hand on the chair, if that feels better. We're not going to stand at this point. We're just doing this sort of squat movement. I'm going to show you from the side. I want you to take your time getting down there. Slow, 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 slow. And then a bit quicker coming up. Slow, 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 slow. And a bit quicker. Slow, slow, slow. We're going to hold it. Think happy thoughts. Breathe here. You can bring your hands closer, even onto your legs if you want to. Keep that breath going. And then push yourself up. Have a little wiggle. We are going down one more time. This time, don't go as low as you can. So have a little sit. We're going to take one hand and just reach it across a little bit over to the side and then bring it back. And then the other hand, reach it across a little over to the side. I like a little wiggle, like I'm trying to play a piano over here. And then bring it back. And then push up, bring your hips forwards. And have a wiggle. Shake it out. And then stay in this position we're in with these wider legs. We're going to do a little teapot side bend. So our hand's going to come up the side and the spout's coming here because I'm just about to lean over. Oh, my shoulders were somewhere up here. Bring them down. That's it. The hips stay really still and my feet are really pressing down. So my legs are not relaxed. They've got all the tension so I can concentrate on moving the upper body. I've got the foundation of my lower body. That's it. And then give your shoulders a roll. We're going to take it into a roll down. So if your spine is happy bending and going through that flexion, we can take it nice and slow. Just do a little mini one. So soften your knees. You can do this against a wall and gives you a lot of stability and a lot of feedback for your back. At the top, just pull my head back slightly like we did at the start. Drop the chin And then I'm just softening and rolling my body down like a ball, rolling right down the center. My legs have got a bend in them, but they've got some tension to them. The muscles are firming up. I'm going to hold it here. Let the arms have a little dangle. Take a breath in. And as I breathe out, I'm keeping that tension. In fact, I've increased it into my legs. I'm going to start bringing the body up. Push into my legs at the end to straighten. Oh, and have a big shoulder roll. If you want something where you keep the spine supported and don't put weighted flexion and bended shape where you're putting all the weight through, instead, send the bum back. Keep the legs quite vertical up to the knee, from knee to ankle. And then we'll do a little pelvic tilt here, tipping under. And then I walk the hands up the body, spine supported, shoulder roll at the top. So let's have one or two more of whatever sort you're doing. We can do them in the chair as well. This is the standard sort in the chair. I like my arms going between my legs so I can just feel my legs. A little bit of resistance there. And just like in standing, my legs have got some firmness to them. And then if I was to do it without that flexion, that bend in my spine, I'll lean forwards, do that little tilt back, and then pushing up until I'm straight. I'm going to take my shoulders even further back and have a little wiggle. And next, we're going to take it either to the back of your chair, so you're seated right at the back, maybe an extra cushion behind you. I think it's going to be helpful actually in the second half, an extra cushion. You might put a cushion between your legs. And otherwise, if you're happy to lie down on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, head supported. I promise my head will come back. It's just disappeared off screen. Let's take everything down here with me. And this is a good point to have a little drink. And just check you've got room to extend different parts of yourself, arms, legs. And then just have a settle. If you're still getting down there, just please take your time. Do not hurry. It's never a thing to hurry. So you might give your legs a sway side to side. You might let your head roll from side to side or turn if you're seated. You can pause and just let your breath start to settle. Maybe when you breathe in, you can feel the pressure change against your back because it's against something, against the chair or against the floor. And it's like as the breath comes in, it's spreading out across your back, right to your sides, right down here to your waist. And as you breathe out, see how long you can make that breath. You might go all the way that you feel a gentle tension come to your belly. Another breath like that. And then we're going to start moving the legs first. So if you're lying down, you see I'm just moving my feet very slightly forward. I want to feel that the back of my pelvis here is really on the ground. It's really flat rather than sort of tipped up like it would be here. So my legs have come forward. So they're really at a very right angle sort of position rather than this, which is less than a right angle. And if you're seated, could you come closer to the edge of your seat? And your legs are in this same sort of L-shaped right angle. We can rest our arms down by our sides, or you can rest your hands on your legs or your belly. We can take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to slide one leg away. I'm just pushing gently into this other leg. And then I'm going to slide it back. Now, by pushing into the leg that's still, it's helping me control this whole core area. Then the other side. Same again. If you're seated, your leg may not go completely straight. Don't worry, it just goes longer. Goes as long as you can, sliding, just touching the floor. It could slide in the air if that's more comfortable. But we're about to change it. Watch what happens. This next one's going to slide away. And as it slides back, I'm going to lift it and bring it up to a tabletop. 90 degrees in the air this time. Then take it down. And the other side. Hold it there. This thigh is vertical. It's not going to come in this far. That sort of loses the tension here in the core. Just this vertical thigh, and then take it down. Keep that going. If you're sitting, it looks slightly different because you've already got that shape and you've got the floor. So we're going to slide forwards and then lift it back, like you're sort of lifting over a puddle or something. So it's forwards and it's long, and then start to lift the thigh and take it back. You might find you even want to lean back a little bit as you do this. Your back's still straight. If that feels okay, excuse me, okay, you can do that. We'll go for a couple more like that. One more each side, I think. Let's bring the legs to the right place. And then we're going to lift the leg again. And this time it's so we can give the ankle a really nice circle or curve. So if it won't go round in a circle, just a wiggle side to side like you're waving. That's it. So any position that you can get your ankle into, any position your leg goes into so that you can move your ankle. And then the other side. Oh, a click on that ankle. Don't know what that was, but it feels okay. And then we're going to go into pelvic tilts. So I'm going to take the cushion out from underneath my head, because if you're lying down, we'll make this into a more of a bridge sort of movement. If you're seated, it's going to be a pelvic tilt, but I've got extra bits to put in. So first get your pelvic tilt going. So you're just tipping the pubic bone towards your low ribs here, keeping the rest of your ribs down as you do that. So down on the floor, they're not sort of arching away yet. So they tip towards you and then you tip away. And that's when you get that little bit of space right under where this floppy bit of pink jumper is. Under here, there's a bit of space. Now, I quite like my hands on my ribs and belly, so as I do that tipping towards me, I can get that sinking feeling at the back. If you're doing that seated, it's like your back waistband is sort of traveling backwards and pulled backwards. And then in both positions, could you put your legs closer together? And then give the knees a little open and close like butterfly wings 3 times. And then with the legs together and squeezing inwards a little, that same pelvic tilt. Remember, it's not the bum squeezing, it's from these core muscles tightening and contracting a little upwards, and then releasing and going downwards towards the heels. So if you're seated, could you keep that going with these legs doing these little 3 butterfly openings and then the pelvic tilt? You can experiment with the width of your legs, a little bit apart, close together. If you're lying down, bring the legs slightly apart. Bring the feet as close as you want them to start pushing down into your feet to go up into a bridge. So raising the hips and then melting down from the spine. Starts with a tilt, that pelvic tilt, that tipping. And then just at the point here where I feel my bum's going up and push into my feet and get the hips upwards. And then next time I come down, let's give the legs a little open and close. And then pushing into the feet, tipping, going up. You can even do the same thing up in the air. Keep your hips at this height. You can have your hands there just to have a little feel to check you're not dropping. You could even take your arms either ahead if you're seated or towards the ceiling if you're lying down. And you'll notice from my knees, to my shoulders. It's a straight line. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for like a big bump going. We're not looking for that. It's not that at all. It's lifting here. You can check that your bum muscles are okay. They're not really grippy. It's all into pushing down here, back of here, and those muscles underneath here are working hard. That's it. And then we'll go down and we're going to ease off. So your easing off might be a sway side to side. It might be you want to bring the legs in towards you, or you might want to go towards your legs if you're sitting. And then we're going to take the legs down and widen the arms, widen the legs, and take an arm across towards the other hand and back, and then an arm across towards the other hand and back. So this is a bit like the bow and arrow, and just the same as the bow and arrow. You could either have the whole body rolling over, so there's less sort of torsion and bringing out sort of twist, and move your legs more if you're seated, or you can keep the lower half of your body still and just rotate the top of your body. And then we're going to roll onto our side if you're lying down. Just for a moment, bring your legs upwards a little. I'll show you the seated version in a second. I'm going to bring cushions under my head, and I'm giving a bit of room because we're going to roll. I'm going to touch my chest, roll back. Now this is where you could put an extra cushion between your knees. I'm just rolling that way a few times. If you're doing this seated, put your hand on your chest, the other hand can be resting on your leg or holding the chair, and you're turning away and coming back. You can make that a small turn if you don't want very much twist, or you can make it a bigger turn if that's okay for your spine. So these legs, when we're lying down, see my shins lining up with the front of my mat. It's almost like I'm sat on another chair. I'm going to put my hand up on my chest, roll back and let my legs open here. And let my head just roll on the cushions. One more, and then we're going to just do the other side. So you might want to roll all the way over and do the other side. I'm going to flip around so you can see. So we've got arm out, legs, the shins are parallel to this edge of the mat. They're sort of lining up with that. And you could have a cushion in between. I prefer all the cushions underneath my head. And then where I'm putting my hand on my chest, that's the one, rolling back. And then rolling forwards. Rolling back. And rolling forwards. A few more times. One more. And then we're going to roll onto our backs, or if you're sitting, sit towards the front third of your chair with the legs wide. And first, the arms come outwards to give us a bit more stability. So you might be holding onto the sides of your chair, or just letting your arms open out, palms up. In fact, let's have a little change with the arms here. Let's take the palms up and then turn them down. Let your whole arm rotate. So if you're doing this seated, arms down by your sides, turn the palms away and back. And then leave the palms up or hold the sides of your chair. And then we're going to let the legs, just the legs, hips actually can be included as well, but the shoulders are going to stay where they are. Shoulders, back and head, let them stay where they are. And then we're going to do a little opposites. So we'll let the legs go one way and the head gently roll the other or turn the other. And then we bring them both back, like there's a magnet pulling you back to the center. And then both turn their opposite directions. One more time each side. And then we can bring our legs a little closer together. We're going to come back to a seated position. So you may want to roll onto your side to do that. You may roll forwards a little ball, whatever works for you. And we're going back to the beginning. So put your legs in whatever position your legs want to go in. Seated, you can get yourself right to the back of your chair. We're going to put our arms over the front of our chest in that crochet. I'm going to go the other way with the other arm on top. If you can remember, well done. And then just a little letting go. Close your eyes if you want to. And just start that pit pat of those hands. Tap one, tap the other. Let your breathing settle. Finding the rhythm of your hands that works for you. It doesn't have to be a breath. It's just what feels right. And the amount of touch that works for you might be lighter, might be heavier. And just taking a few more breaths like this. Letting go, softening the forehead, the eyes, the jaw, the neck. And then let the hands drift down. Open your eyes. We're going to take our hands out to the sides and scoop up the air. Bring your hands together, bring them into your chest. Lots of twisting and turning, but hopefully in a way that worked for you. Lovely to see you all. We'll see you next time. Oh, thank you, Irene.